Philip Kennedy Johnson and Riccardo Federici unveil the origin of Orphan as Superman recruits the techno baby into his quest to free Enchantress from the cold, dead hands of Mother. Philip Kennedy Johnson continues the absolute brilliance that is his WARWORLD saga with another issue that explores the origins of Mongul's former henchmen, this time focusing in on Orphan and showcasing exactly what the weird baby is. I absolutely love the callback to No Justice and how in the DC universe, that event, which actually came out in 2018, was only just a few months ago in universe. It just goes to show you just how much stuff happens in the DCU in such a short amount of time, and there's always something happening, which I just think is just insane, and that someone can keep track of it all is quite a feat in itself. Not only that, we also learn that the baby is from Valeron, a planet which has ties to Superman thanks to that being the planet that Vartox, one of Superman's allies and sometimes villain, is from, which is a neat bit of connective tissue for the character. I've loved every bit of the lore and exploration Johnson is doing with WARWORLD and its inhabitants, since it's all just so fresh and reinvigorating all of these old Superman villains like Mongul while adding in some original ones to balance it all out. Even the ending where we learn the grisly fate of Light Ray and what has become of that character is fantastic, since it obviously is setting up OMAC to make a return to Superman's side of the fight and help out in the big final battle to help free Light Ray and find them again. Riccardo Federici again outdoes himself on the art side with more fantastic Dark Souls, dark fantasy styled artwork that explores the horrors WARWORLD has hiding in its depths, but I really like how he can go the opposite way as well and bring a real gentleness and warmth to the parts of Superman, just talking with the Philosians and having discussions with them and teaching them about like Kandorian puzzle boxes and giving them to them and everything. There's like a warmth to the art in that, and then you compare that to all the stuff he does later on in the issue where it's zombies and Superman dressed like Conan. It's just fantastic. Action Comics issue 1044 was another fantastic installment in the WARWORLD saga, exploring more of these insanely interesting new characters and expanding on the lore Johnson is setting up with WARWORLD and its place in the cosmic hierarchy of the DC universe. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Action Comics issue 1044 finds Manchester Black trying to wake up the orphan baby in its stasis tube, but Superman tells him to stop yelling at it, telling the baby who he is and wanting Orphan's help with something. Manchester thinks he's wasting his time, since if he even remembered where it came from, it doesn't anymore. Some months before, a pregnant Valronian woman named Darling sings to her unborn child, telling her husband that she can feel herself getting anxious to meet the child. Her husband is as well, as their ship watches over the source wall. Darling tells her husband that she can't wait to get home to Valron, but Deg knows that it was worth checking out the source wall for their expedition. Suddenly there is an energy fluctuation as the source wall is cracked open, and they are told to evacuate the area. It's too late, as the source wall begins engulfing their ship, and it is left without shields or power. Darling knows that they only have seconds left to be together, hugging her husband and their robot dog as the wall consumes them all. In the present, Superman wants to know how this happened to the baby and if they have any family anywhere, and who bonded it with the machine called Darling. Weeks after the source wall breach, Teacher leads Mongul into the wreckage of the ships, telling Mongul that they aren't there to plunder, coming across the baby in the stasis tube. Mongul thinks it to be some abomination, but the teacher explains that it's a techno-familiar designed to protect its Valronian masters, and it likely assimilated its mother's corpse to save the baby, while the source wall preserved them, meaning the source wall flows through its veins like blood. Teacher knows that with its secrets, it could build something like the mother boxes. Superman asks Orphan about the Orphan box, which he's been using to teleport around, but he knows it's too limited. Orphan says that the box doesn't teleport, it transcends, and when fueled with Genesis, it can transcend life and death and find the inevitable truth at their center. Orphan knows that the wounds Superman suffered in the breach are still killing him, and he fears that his revolution is moving too slowly and that he'll fail in his promise to return home to his wife and son. Orphan says that if Superman reunites him with Darling, he will help him free Enchantress, but Superman needs to harness the Genesis power and to do that, they need to find one who is very far away. Elsewhere in the necropolis, Osel and Othel sneak into Superman's quarters, surprised that he is quartering with the people, since most leaders are separate from their people. They soon find some strange devices and his journal, unable to read the book. Superman comes back, telling them that the devices they are playing with aren't finished yet. Othel tries to explain why they are there, but Superman knows it's okay, telling them the devices they have are Kandorian puzzle boxes called Koltari, which is a traditional toy among the children of Krypton, where their ancestors are from. He shows them how they work, surprising Osel as Clark says that he made a wooden one for his son to help him feel connected to his heritage. Othel asks what wood is, so Superman tries to explain how Earth has trees and plants and how his father would make the most beautiful things out of wood. He knows his son is all grown up now, so he wants to know if Osel and Othel would like these puzzle boxes. Midnighter comes to collect Superman, so Clark tells the kids that they don't have to take the Koltari, but the kids want them, despite them not being finished. He hopes that tomorrow they can finish them together after they rescue Enchantress, as elsewhere, Mongul finds that Lightray won't come back to life, attacking the Blood Priests out of frustration as they try to explain that with Orphan and Teacher gone, they are just simple alchemists. One says that the being has been dead for too long and they could use a fresh new soul to bond with the body, but Omak says that they were promised that the real Lightray would be brought back to life, not some freak in her body. Mongul blasts Omak down, telling her that he will not listen to their petulant demands, and Mongul is bound by no word or deed, and Mongul does as Mongul wills. He thinks that Omak should be grateful that he and Lightray were chosen for the ranks of the unmade and not fed to Mother. Superman and the others meanwhile make it to the nest, led by Orphan to where Enchantress is. Clark tries to wake June, telling her that the bad dream is over, but June isn't so sure as Mother makes her presence known. Orphan tells Superman to hurry as Mother unleashes her undead hordes onto Superman and his team. Midnighter hopes that the magic infant wants to do a trick as Orphan blasts apart the zombies, hurting Mother in the process and causing her to change into a giant monster. Superman tells the villain that she will not have June Moon, but the monstrous Mother knows that no more of her children will be taken from her and she shall adorn her home with the bones of Superman. Superman knows that these people were never her children, just her victims, and she won't have June or any of them be any more victims. Superman cuts Orphan free from the Mother's grip and the baby unleashes its power onto Mother. Superman says that June is one of them and is leaving with them, and if she has a problem with it, she can take it up with the one who brought them there. Mother is consumed by the power of Orphan as Mongul suddenly feels something coming. The monstrous Mother bursts through the wall, calling Mongul a false god who she lent some of her power and strength to while cursing those who would keep her from her throne, but she is now being repaid by thieves and murderers. Mongul stabs her with a spear, telling her that she was useful once, but that time is done as he rips Mother's head in half. After the battle, he tells his men to fetch the Blood Priests to bring Mother back to life one last time. The Blood Priests begin their ritual, offering up the body of Lightray. The soul of Mother explodes into the body, bringing it back to life again and changing it. Mongul thinks that they will need a different name instead of Lightray now, as the cloaked being tells Mongul that they are moving forward towards the finale and the game favors them now. And when faced with this weapon, Superman will have no choice but to seek the fire of Olgron, and when he does, their plan will finally come to fruition.